All right, it's day 3 of Hustler University, the path to a six-figure business. But before we can run, we must walk. And before we walk, we must crawl. We're going to get into the first hustler task. I did say this was going to be action-oriented. All 30 days, you're going to be doing something. This is designed to move you forward. And for some of you, you're going to make more money than you've ever made before. Some, you're already making money, but it's to give you new methodologies and new ways of doing things, because the biggest problem I see with many hustlers is not enough action. Understand, there's this saying, and this actually is going to become a book that's going to come out in a few months, that, it's only common sense. Well, if common sense was enough, why aren't more people successful? Because it takes more than common sense. It takes discipline and action. All right, this is what you're going to do. This is your challenge. And it's going to take some time for some it won't. It just, everyone's in a different place. But what you're going to do is take stock of what you have. And what I mean by that is you're going to go around your house, your apartment, wherever you live, and anything that you don't need or is not of, I would say, family value or sentimental value, but if you really don't need it, it's just kind of like you have it, or you have a storage unit full of stuff you don't need. You're going to go through all of that stuff. This challenge is going to probably take some people a week, if not longer. And for those of you who finished the challenge earlier, just email me at updates@hms300.com and I'll move you along the food chain a little faster. See, this is the flexibility of this course. It's like for people who need more time, you have it. For folks who finish things early, I've got stuff for you, and we'll just move it on like that. So take stock of what you have. Assign potential sale value. If you got a table set and you think you can get 150, you put it on 150, you put it on the sheet. And once you do this, you begin tripling your efforts on listing on eBay, listing on Craigslist, whatever you triple. Whatever you're doing, you're going to triple it. If you're listing 20 items a week, you're going to list 60. If you're listing 60 items a week, you're going to list 180. This comes from what I learned when I worked at Rent-A-Crate about making those phone calls. Because when I first saw it, like 250 calls a week, I was like, 50 calls a day? Okay, I can do that. What do you mean if I don't talk to anybody, that's not a call? Because in my mind, it was like, if I pick up the phone and dial the numbers and call, it's a call. But due to the Rent-A-Crate standards, that was not a call. It was only a call if someone answers. So to get to my 250 calls a week, and it took me a little time to get there, it was actually 750 calls. It took 750 calls to actually reach 250 people. And it was like, whoa. But when I got to that level, the results spoke for themselves. So I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, you triple your efforts, your money's going to increase. It may mean you can't watch television. It means that TiVo or Hulu or Netflix may become your best friend because you don't have the time to watch television. But is watching television putting money in your pocket? No, it's not. So it's got to go. Now, with the factor your efforts times 3, you got to learn how to push yourself. And I'll give you an example. When I was writing my first book, there was a day that I did not want to write anything. I was behind schedule. There was this chick I wanted to go hang out with. There were so many distractions. And I was getting ready to get out of my chair and leave the house and go hang out with the chick. And I got to the door, and as I was going to the door, I passed the mirror and I had to look at myself. And I was like, you're punking out. You are punking out on your future. This was roughly the second week I started writing. And I was already, it was just really hard. So I looked in the mirror and I just held my chin up. When you hold your body in a certain position, you will affect your mental state. It is scientifically proven. And I was like, we're going to do this. So I turned around, I text girl, I can't come. I sat at the table, and it took me 4 hours to pound out 1,000 words, but I did it. It was like pulling teeth. And then the next day I sat down and it got a little easier and a little easier. But the thing is, you train to push yourself, because I know There are many of you that when you wake up, you just don't feel like doing certain things. You just don't feel like it, but that's not important. You have to learn how to push yourself, because I'm going to prove something to you. And if you've seen one of my YouTube videos, older ones, you may have seen this. I want you to do this right now. I want you to stand up wherever you are, if you can. If you're driving, do not stand up. That could be real interesting on YouTube. But stand up and take your right or left arm, point your finger, and twist your body as far as you can backwards. If you're standing, you're going to be twisting backwards. And mentally mark that spot on the wall. Go far as you can. I mean, really, just go as far as you can. Okay? Then come back to the regular position. Then in your mind, take a few minutes and see yourself mentally pushing past that point. 7 times out of 10, maybe 8 times out of 10, unless you're like really just naturally flexible, you'll be able to actually go an inch or two further than what you thought you can, because mentally you've propelled yourself. This happens in other areas. Think bigger. That's why I'm saying factor your efforts time 3 times, because a lot of folks are like, well, I can do 50%. I'm talking about 300%. You increase your effort and you think bigger, you're going to get better results. I'm not going to tell you that it's going to be easy, because it's not. For some of you, some of it's a process. Just because, and even if you just factor times 2, the goal is to get to 3. And when you get to 3, the goal is to get to 4. It doesn't stop, because when you can factor your efforts times 4, 5, or really not 10, I've done it a few times. It's hard. When you factor your effort by 10, you get 6 figures in months, not years. It's you just got to have the right stuff going on, because massive effort will yield massive results. It really will. And you got to look at that. Massive effort will yield massive results. Another thing to do is to listen to the Hustler Mindset audiobook every day. Just keep listening to it. Every time you listen to it, you're gonna get a little bit more. And it's about 4.5 hours long. So, it's gonna take you a few days, but just keep listening until it'll sink in, because you're putting good stuff in your mind. Learn to ask for what you want. This is huge. I know that I make a very good living online, but online I ask for what I want, and due to the fact that I have the courage to say, hey, I have a product, I want you to buy it, I'm selling it. There's a lot of people like, bro, what? You should just kind of put it out there and let us see if possibly we may want it, because you shouldn't ask, because if you were really good, you wouldn't have to ask. People would just, that is bullshit. Apple spends billions of dollars on marketing. Nissan, Porsche, all these companies, because we all know who they are. Why do they spend money on marketing? Because we would forget them in a heartbeat. They wouldn't go out of business, but marketing helps. It helps tremendously. So I had a background in going from door-to-door sales. It's brutal. It's horrible. Glad I did it, because it gave me the ability to speak to people. And I'm an introvert, which is really funny, because people are like, oh, you're an extrovert. I am an introvert. I am not an extrovert, which cracks me up. It's just I can force myself to do what I need to do. When I was really focused on the ebooks before I made the decision to go to audio. The ebooks will come at some point, but audio is just really working for me right now. I love it. I was at one of my favorite eateries, the Flying Biscuit, and I saw this girl reading an ebook, and and just to be straight up, she was drop dead gorgeous. And I was like, but she's reading, because I was like, this is one of the things I was doing. It's like, if I see people reading ebooks, I'm just going to hey, I've got this book. Would you read it? Because they already read ebooks. And I introduced myself and I started talking to her. And before you know it, we struck up a nice little conversation. I gave her a few ebooks, talked to her a little bit more. We are actually friends now. And it was really cool. A lot of people can't do that. If you're selling yourself a service or a product, you need to learn how to ask for what you want and be able to talk to strangers. Because once you go through the gamut of all your friends and their acquaintances, then you got to start dealing with, guess what? Strangers. Go strangers first. Go to strangers first. But for this task, you're gonna hit all of them. As you're got together all your stuff, and remember, we're factoring the times 3. You're gonna call all your friends. You're gonna call up all of your acquaintances, and you may even knock on a few doors if you can't get enough stuff. And you're gonna say this: "Hi, I am taking this money-making course called Hustler University, and this is an assignment. I need to ask you for stuff that you do not want, and I want you to give it to me." Yeah, I know it's crazy. It's an assignment, but this is what the guy wants. He's a drill sergeant. When people hear that you're doing something to improve yourself, or you're taking a course, they're much more likely to give you stuff. When initially, if you just said, "Hey, I wanted some stuff," they're like, "I don't know," but it's like, "Oh, you're doing it for you're taking a course? Sure. What do you need?" Well, hey, Alice, yeah, Ed, he needs some stuff. What do you got? You don't want those bloomers anymore, do you? Well, no, we don't want this wardrobe, and we don't want this sofa. Well, there's a few lawnmowers, and you'll be amazed at what people will start giving to you, because you're asking for a purpose versus just asking for you. I don't know what it is about psychology, but I have used that tactic so many times, because it's like, if it's something else bigger than you, they're more agreeable. They're more malleable to your wishes and desires. And the thing is, it's true. I'm giving you that assignment, so it's no bullshit. And just whatever. Because the thing is, you're trying to get stuff. You're trying to get stuff. The more stuff you have, the more stuff you can sell. I do this with my online business. I have a daily income goal. I don't always make it. Sometimes it takes 2 weeks for it to all average out. But since I have a goal and something I'm striving for, it happens more often than not. So I set some numbers here. For some of you, these numbers, you already have this stuff. Some of you, you're going to have to times these numbers to maybe 10. But after you have $500, $2,000 worth of stuff, you're going to create a daily income goal. And I'm keeping it at $100. For some of you, you can crank it up a little more. But if you create a daily income goal that you're going to sell $100 worth of stuff every day. You can use eBay, you can use Amazon, you can use Craigslist, you can whatever way you need to. But your goal is to sell $100 worth of stuff every day, which is $3,000 per month, which is $36,000 a year. If you have really good margins, that's like 25, maybe 30. If you're really getting your stuff cheap, $1,000 a year. And it comes from having that goal, because most people wake up with no goals. It's just, well, I'm going to do something. Well, I might do this. No, you're going to have a daily income notebook. It's like, bam, on the notebook, you're going to write daily income goals. And you're going to write whatever day it is. And it's like, my goal today is to sell $100 worth of my services, products, whatever you have. For some of you, it should be $200. For some of you, it should be $500. But everybody is in different levels here. So I'm keeping it agreeable. Now, for those of you who are already hitting these numbers, email me at updates@hms300.com. And I got something for you, which you will get later on in the program. Because like I said, that's the flexibility of this program. I can do a lot of things with it. So you write that down at the top of your sales sheet every day. Then you sit there and it's like, okay, how am I going to make this $100? Well, I've got $7,000 worth of stuff. So if I put all $7,000 up, I'm going to sell about 20-30% of that, which is I need to put more stuff up. You start walking through steps. You need the stuff, and I want you to do this. I want you to ask these. You'll be surprised at what folks will give you, because you're doing it for a different cause other than yourself. So that is it. That's the deal. Now the clock starts ticking. Now small daily steps will lead to long-term leaps. Save 10% of the profits in a Roth. Get used to putting money aside. Get used to putting money aside. I cannot tell you how many times a savings account has saved my bacon. I will share with you because I've been overhauling this program since about this time last year when I had an assistant. Because, it's just like I knew the storage auction thing wasn't going on forever. Those months of me making 10, 15, 20 grand from selling storage auction books, I knew that was going to peter out at some point. It went on much longer than I thought it would. So I saw the trend and I said, okay, you need to do something else. So I pulled my books off of Amazon, had another editor go over them, got an assistant. We started tweeting for 6 months. And understand, I had an assistant. For 6 months, we were tweeting, doing a lot of social media, and the only income I was getting was from YouTube and a few sales on some ebooks because I was moving on ebooks, but I was getting anywhere from $1,500 a month to $1,900 a month passive income. And, all this other stuff had just stopped. But because I had a savings account, I was able to work on the business and take a few risks and ultimately build a better product. But if I was on that spot where it was just like, okay, I got to get money. I want you to get off that I got to get money treadmill to I am going to earn money because I've got money over here in savings. I got money in my Roth. I want you to get to that point where money's always coming in. Because when you have money that's always coming in, it's like, yeah, here's $100 this day. Oh, here's $400 this day. And you manage your money and you have more money coming in than you had before you learn to manage it, your life improves in every area. You have sex with your spouse way more often because you ain't stressed out about bills. If you want to go out on the night have a steak dinner, you can do it. If you want to take a vacation, you can do it. These fights about money go away. And from what I have read and what I've experienced when I was married, actually, that's not true. We didn't really fight about money, but it's a huge problem. It's a huge, huge problem. And so by solving this and building your business and making it more robust, you actually will make your relationship better. Now, another part of this, if you're married, you need to share this course with your spouse. They need to be clued in. So when you're busy, they know why you're busy and they know that you're working for them. But it's like when a professor explains something to you and he just kind of gives you like, do this. And you're like, huh? But when he's like, okay, well, the reason that you have to do this is because this gas affects this gas. And it's like, oh, bam. Okay, you get it. And you're more likely to do it. They need to know what you're doing and why you're doing all this crazy stuff. Because they're like, what the hell? What are you doing? Where are you coming in here? Why are you bringing in here a canoe? What the hell? You need to clue them in. So, as part of this, that's your fam, that's your husband, that's your wife. You need to clue them in and actually do this with them because that will actually help you make more money because then your spouse is clued in and they may be out somewhere and it's like, hey, we could sell that. And you got them really on board because I'm telling you, people who don't believe in the resale hustle, when they get that first good lick, it's on. It's like, okay, we're going to do this. That little wife of yours who would never pick up anything, she's going to come home with a chair in the truck. Hey, baby, can we sell this? Because they're going to be clued in. So clue in your fam. Even get the kids involved because there's a lot of time with this. And if you do it together, then no one feels left out. So with that, go. The other days, like I said, there's going to be big tasks. This is a big task. This is like a major one. This is the first major one. And I am going to do something as a test. I am going to start a Facebook group for the Hustler Mindset University. Hustler University only. And it's only going to be for Hustler University business. Just to put up pictures of what you got, stuff like that. So I'm going to get that together this weekend or sometimes next week. So, I will give you an invite. You have to be on Facebook. You have to have a real picture. If you got like some crazy picture of a dog, I'm not going to approve it. I get tired of people who are hiding behind images. You know who I am. If you're a Facebook friend, you've seen my friends, you've seen all this stuff. So that's what you're going to have to do if you want to be part of the group. So it is beta. I may leave it, I may not, but that's coming. So, there's going to be about 60 some people in there. Maybe 70, I think. Maybe 70. So that's what's coming. All right. This is Glendon. This is day 3 of Hustler University. And it is time to make some money. So go.